Welcome to the Node Express Postgres and View tutorial. We building the book order application using the Node.js environment, runtime environment, Express framework, PostgreSQL database, and Vue.js we will use in the front end. Today we will see how we can add the registration and the login routes so that user can register himself here and log in himself or herself. So let's start. I will start from the helper. I will add a helper functions of a model that uses Next.js to store and retrieve data from a database using the provided Next instance. Custom functionality will be there. The idea is that there will be most used types of functions that most uh, models will want to have. They can be overwritten, modified, extended if they needed by composing a new object out of the one written by this function. So you can see we defined the most used functions, the create, find all, and the find one where we can provide the next. Next is our the ORM, the query building tool for the Postgres, and here we can define the schema name, and here the table name and the selectable props which I want to return or insert, which I want to return, and the timeout. Timeout means uh, after how much time I will get the response. So here create function is taking the props which wants to insert into the this table name, and the find will have filters. If there is no filters, then it will get uh, all the rows in the table. And the find one we have you can pass the uh, you can pass the parameter by which you can query the database. Next, I will add the models. Inside the models, I will create a index.js file. So these files will actually gather up all the models file, that is any files present in the current directory that is not in this file, and export them as properties of an object such that they may be imported using the destructuring. And there is a model present. So actually the main goal uh, is to export all the models present in the directory from this index.js file. So we we will export just like we can import like this. So let's see. Now I will create the user.js file in the models, then I will explain this code. Here I will add the method to create a user. Next, to store the password in the database, I will encrypt the actual password using the bcrypt function, and I will encrypt and create hash and store in the database. So I will use the bcrypt. So first I will install it. So it's added. I will come later to this part, this has password and the verify password method used. So first I want to export this user and want to show you how I use this in this index.js file. So now if I come to the explanation of the index.js file, so this get module files function that takes a directory in the path dir as an argument. It reads the contents of the directory using the fs.read directory sync, and that filters the files in the directory to include only the files that have dot uh, that have actually have a extension, and it's not considering the index.js files. The filter file name are then joined with the directory path to create an array of file paths which is returned. So the files is an array that contains the file path of the models. It's it's populated by calling the get model file path, and the directory is the current directory name. Now if I come to these models, this reduce function actually taking the individual model to iterate over the files, to iterate over the files array. In each iteration it performs the following step. It is required to load the module with the file name variable, uh, and here it's passing the next object. If you go to the user.js file, you can see it's taking the next object, and here I mentioned the name and the table name. Uh, all needs to create the model helper, and here I will return the name by taking the name. It's assigning those in the model object which contains the various model objects is exposed at the modules value with the name. Now its user, there can be anything, there can be book or the library. According to this will be populated. Now I will add the create user method in the user.js file. So first we'll define the before save function which will perform the logic to encrypt the passwords, so that it includes always hashing the passwords field prior to writing, so it never saved in a plain text. Here the hash password function use the bcrypt library to hash the password with the specified number of salt round. So here the salt round is 10, which means bcrypt will use 10 rounds of salting to hash password securely. And here I am using the before save. So before save is a function that takes the user as an object as its argument. It's typically used before saving or creating a new user account. It's check if the user object has a password property. If the password is missing, it returns the resolved promise with the original user object. This is a way to handle scenarios uh, where the user account doesn't have a password. If the user has a password, it's called the hash password function to hash the password. This operation is asynchronous and it returns a promise. Next, I am using the user helper create method. So if you see the user helper, model helper create method basically insert the props, insert all the value of the columns into the table name users and returning the selectable props. Next, I will add the verify method. This create method is for the register and the verify method will be for the login.